know you mean everything to Christ. And Christ means everything to me.
And I called on the Lord. I said, man, Father, this is real. Will you watch over them? Will you raise them up to be strong? I'm just a man with flesh. This is what you call for in your scriptures. You said they wore studs and fringes, they got it on. You said they will follow the law, they doing it. You said under your house shine, they ought to love one another, and they doing it.
First off, I want to thank God. Thank the Black, Hispanic, and Native American people. Keep y'all guards up. Let you know we ride with you. And let me say one more thing. If you don't like your Christian pastor stealing all your tithes money, buying new houses, buying new cars, new jets, locking the doors on you and storing you for money, come to the UPK. Here in the UPK, your tithes money is not going to be misused. It's going to be used for the right things in the community for Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans all over the earth. All over the earth. Israel, pay your tithes to Commanding General Yohana and the UPK, man. Pay your tithes. Go to isupk.com and you click that tithes and donation button and you pay your tithes to Commanding General Yohana, the only man on the earth doing real work in the community.
That verse that he's talking about, like he said, it either confirms or denies whether the parent's sin fell onto that person. That person that they're talking about, the blind one.
I don't have a problem that Christ didn't correct them for the two that they said. You understand? And I'm giving you the basis for why they would ask that. So my question to you is, we've already said sins of the father could be passed to the third and fourth generation. That's in the Bible. So why did they ask if the man who was born from birth, if it's not the parents, did he sin? What could be the only explanation?
You're trying to put me in a little triangle right now. I'm telling you, like, he was just born with it because I was like...
So are you saying
but
that,
when
like...
Christ healed people, he said your sin is forgiven.
Because he wanted to prove that he could heal sin.
No, they're philosophizing.
So I have a question now.
No, you're philosophizing. If you get sick, the scripture says, God wounds, he heals. He makes it sick, he heals.
So
You understand? He wounds, he kills, he makes alive, all of that. All of that is God's judgment, and it takes place under the sun. Right. So the only way a baby is going to be judged, Christ said there's a third option. And this is how gangster my God is. My God's so gangster, he'll make you blind just to prove his power.
Yeah, we have the same God. No,
if you did, you
listen, I am on the same
instead of that side.
No, I agreed with you earlier. We are saved by confession. That baptism is symbolic, okay? We have the same God. I have another question for you. Let's just say we have two righteous people. They give birth to someone who has a gene chromosome. Are you going to say that they're sinful, or that they're not righteous, or that they're unclean and unholy?
So I would talk about how weak he was. I would talk about how much he was healed, died, 7 times. That's why God...
You know what else he said? he also said, I'm a Pharisee. He also said, I come from one of the most elite sects of the entire Jewish community. Paul became all things for all men. You understand? It's no different than if I talk to a scholar, it's different than how I talk to somebody who came from the trenches. I could become all things for my people. Paul was able to do that, which is why when he was battling the Pharisees, did he not say, I too am a Pharisee? Paul knew how to be strong to the strong and weak for the weak to help make them strong. Right. That was a part of his inherent gift and ability.
Yeah, I mean, that was his greatest sin.
But the things that you're saying, you're telling me what a scholar philosophized about the Bible. You're not telling me the book, chapter, verse where he says it. But let me tell you the danger of that. Because let me tell you why it was so wise that Paul didn't tell us what his thorn was. Because if he would have told us, then we would have did what you just did. We would have said, that's what we have to look for. By him not telling us, now your thorn is not my thorn. My strength is not your strength. Your weakness is not my weakness. But guess what? We all have them. So you know what we all better do? We all better become strong enough to serve the Lord and not make excuses.
Have ye received the Holy Spirit?
So now he asked them.
Most High in Christ. All right, man. San Antonio Scripture Breakdown class. We here live and direct. Most High in Christ. Y'all got any questions? Y'all can go ahead, type them in the chat. Any questions?
It's lucky, sir, if I may.
Mhm.
I got a question. It's about, I think it's in the book of Daniel, about the statue, right, on Daniel's dream.
Mhm.
I think, Slaki, what part of the statue represents the Greek captivity?
So which part, which vision? He had the vision like 3 times. You talking about the statue that was gold, that was silver, and that was bronze? Okay. So it was, the first one was Babylon, that was the gold. The Assyrian was the silver. Let me see. Bronze was either the Medo-Persians or it was the Greeks. Read it real quick. Let me go through it. Let's go look at it. What is it, Daniel 4 or 7? Which one is it?
Daniel 7.
Daniel 7, right? Something like that.
Daniel 7, verse 3. And 4 great beasts came from the sea, diverse one from another. The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. No, I don't think this is it, sir. It's like
Well, the third beast is the leopard. So I would imagine that the Greek would be bronze. So it's Assyria, Medo-Persians as yeah, okay. So the gold is Babylon and Assyria. The Medo-Persians is silver, and then the Greeks is the bronze, and then the one that's mixed with clay is Rome.
Right.
The fourth beast is Rome, so it would be the third. So that means bronze.
Colonel Concert.
Is that it?
Iron. It's like it says, Daniel 7, verse 19. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding great dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet.
Yeah,
Stomped.
okay. Yeah, that's Rome.
That's Rome. Okay. So you're saying the third beast is
Third beast is the Greeks.
Colonel Concert. Okay, that's in verse 6, right? Daniel 7, verse 6. After this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard.
So verse 6 is after this, behold, lo, another like a leopard. That leopard is symbolic of Alexander. If you were to go to the museum right now, or you can Google it, he wore leopard into battle. He had his horse draped with it, and he wore leopard skin. And it says, and the back of it 4 wings of a fowl, and the beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. Those 4 wings and those 4 heads, you understand? So he had 4 providences that he ruled over. The 4 heads were the 4 generals that were under his command. When he passed the 4 generals, it was broken up.
Right.
You understand? So you had the Seleucids, you had Ptolemy in Egypt, and then you had the other 2, which was like Italy, and then the rest of it. You know what I'm saying? The Seleucids took over the Middle East and Antioch and all that. Ptolemy took over Egypt. His entire empire was split up amongst those 4 generals after he passed.
Concert. And you can find that in the book of Maccabees, right?
Yes, you could find that in Maccabees, the first chapter. You know what I'm saying? When it starts to talk about Ptolemy and all of them, you know what I mean? That was what happened after Alexander ruled. Alexander didn't want his empire to be split up. But when he died, his generals broke up, and then they started to rule over the different, you know what I'm saying, kingdoms that they conquered.
What, sir? I appreciate it.
I underbar.
I'm gonna have the real question I wanted for you later. Like, well, next week.
No sweat.
I had it highlighted, and I don't know what happened to it. Just like this.
That's it. All right. Then let me find a lesson, my boy. Shimmy, it's funny. Some of these breakdowns we don't even use anymore because the enemies are gone. That's the funny part. That's not a bad one, but maybe I'll save that for later. That's not bad either. Well, we might do this. You know what? Since you asked this, let's do it. This might help with your question. Bring me to Revelations, the 13th chapter. Let's talk about it.
This book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
So now this is a beast that has 7 heads and 10 horns. So heads and horns are symbolic of rulership. You know what I'm saying? So if you know, a horn is on your head. That's the whole point and the purpose of it. The head is what controls the entire body. So now there's a beast, and out of this beast, there's 7 heads. The beast is Rome. You understand?
Right.
Like there's something that came out of Rome. There's 7 superpowers that came out of Rome. All right. The superpowers are Portugal, Italy, Spain, France, Germany, Russia, and England. Those are the 7 heads. All of those 7 nations, good.
Portugal,
Italy, Spain, France, Germany, Russia, and England. These are the 7 world superpowers that came out of Rome. All right.
So number 1 is Portugal. Okay, 1, 2. 7 heads, right?
7 heads.
So after Russia that's 8, sir?
No.
No?
Portugal, Italy,
Right.
Spain,
Oh, okay.
France, Germany, Russia, England. That's 7.
Come on, sir.
All right. Those are the 7 heads. The sea is a representation of the world or people. Like if you've ever heard of like the Sea of Rome,
Right.
or a sea of people. So this is what's coming up out of the earth right now. This is what's developing. What's developing is, you understand, this beast, this dragon taking place. Now, this also has to do with the heathens. Beast of the field are synonymous with the heathens. Hold where you're at. Give me Ezekiel 34 and 8.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 34, verse 8. As I live, saith the Lord God, surely because my flock became a prey, and my flock became meat to every beast of the field.
You know what I'm saying? So now what you see here is the Lord calls us his flock. You understand? And what's his flock? Flock is his sheep.
Right.
I don't know if y'all have ever been around sheep, if y'all have ever been around animals. Like sheep are got to be one of the easiest animals to kill. You know what I mean? They damn near give you their throat to cut. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not it's why they need a shepherd. It's why they need protecting. Sheep are absolutely helpless without somebody to protect them. We are the Lord's flock. Without his protection, we get devoured by every beast of the field. The beast of the field are the other nations. Now, there's the most subtle beast of the field. That's the so-called white man. In the beginning, this subtle beast was a snake. By the time you get to Revelations, it's a dragon.
Right.
You understand? That old serpent. What you read about in Revelations 12 is the same as what you're reading about in Revelations 13. So you got to understand that when the Lord is talking about beast, he's talking about the heathen nations that devour us. But this is the one that's ruling right now. This is the one that everyone else is afraid of. This is the one that everybody in the earth calls the devil. Go to, let's go back to Revelations 13:1.
This book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
So now this beast that we know is nations, is heathen nations. These 7 heads, these 7 superpowers came out of Rome. Portugal, Italy, Spain, France, Germany, Russia, England. Now, the 10 crowns or the 10 horns, you understand? All of this has to do with the head. So all of this has to do with rulership. Are the 10 common stock markets that came out of those 7 heads. So, for example, you have Belgium. The Netherlands. For example, the Netherlands came out of Germany. You have Luxembourg. Also came out of Germany. Denmark. Ireland. Switzerland. Australia. Remember, Australia was an English prison colony. Australia came out of England. Austria, another country, came out of Germany. Scotland. And America. Because where did America come out of?
America came out of Britain.
England.
Right.
You understand? Those are the 10 horns. If you notice, all of these have something in common. These are all white empires. These are all European nations. You understand? This is all Edom, Esau. All right? Read on.
And upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy.
You understand the name of blasphemy? Because you know what all these empires push? All these empires push white supremacy. You know what white supremacy does? Says the Jews are white. Says Jesus is white. You know what else they push? All those nations are Christian nations. Catholic nations. They're nations that the Catholic Church, the Eastern Orthodox Church, different branches and different forms of Christianity spread throughout every single one of those lands. Shalom. And you know what they spread? White Jesus. You know what they spread? Alternative lifestyles. You know, you go to Denmark, you could celebrate Christmas. You understand? You go to France, they celebrate Christmas. You go to Germany, they celebrate Christmas. All of this is blasphemy. You know what else they celebrate? Easter. They celebrate pagan holidays in every single one of these nations. You know what all of that is? Lies on God. You understand? Blasphemy. That's what's written on their foreheads. That's what's on their minds. That's what comes out of them. That's what sets the tone all over it. Blasphemy. Lies against God. I mean, the serpent was a liar, was he not? How much greater do you believe his lies are when he grows into a dragon? That's the problem. Read on.
Verse 2. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power.
You understand? So now, this beast is made up of the empires that came before him. Now, we just learned about them inside the book of Daniel. You know what I'm saying? In the book of Daniel, when you see those different beasts, matter of fact, pause where you're at. Let's go back to Daniel now. Let's go back to Daniel 7. Let's start at the point of the vision, and then let's go through it. And then you're going to see how we got here, how we got to the Greco-Roman Empire. Because Rome was just built on all the empires that came before it. Because the white man's a culture thief. So he takes some from here, takes some from here. You understand? And this is just the progression of these different empires. The Bible has been predicting the future for thousands of years. Good?
The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 1. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed.
So now, Daniel's in captivity. While he's in captivity, you understand? Here's something else that you got to realize too. We didn't calculate time the way we do today. You understand? We're under this Greco-Roman Empire and the continuation of it inside of America. So we have a Gregorian calendar, but empires used to go off of rulership. And that's kind of how they figure out the timelines. They add up how long all the kings ruled and did their best to kind of create and figure out what the hell year it was. Good?
Come on. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Verse 2. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heaven strove upon the great sea.
Good.
Verse 3.
Now you see everything's coming out of the earth. Yeah, like all of this comes out of the sea.
Right.
This is what's developing in the world. Good.
Oh, wow, okay. Verse 3. And four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. Verse 4.
Now, once again, what do we learn about beast? The beast of the field. You understand? Good. No, it's think about a sea of people. You know what I'm saying? So when you have what you ever hear of, once again, the Roman Sea, but like this is just talking about that nation, that group, that collective people. It's damn near like when you get a stadium of 50,000 people, what do? The wave. Because a sea of people could do you get what I'm saying? It's all metaphors. All right. So the sea is a metaphor for the world. This is what's coming out of the world. This is a collection of people. You understand? And this is the beast of the other nations. Good. Is it on topic?
It is kind of
good. Nah, I'm not even worried about it. Good.
Verse 4. The first was like a lion.
Good.
And had eagle's wings.
So now, if you were to go and you were to look up Babylon and Assyria, right? They have an animal called a griffin. A griffin is a lion with wings. There's a lot of different mythological creatures. For example, a Pegasus. A Pegasus is a horse with wings. the symbol of the Assyrian Empire, the symbol of Babylon. You can go look this up in Iraq and Iran right now. A couple of years ago, I want to say maybe about 10 years ago, right? About a decade ago, when ISIS was going around, they went to some of these sites, these ancient sites, and started destroying Babylonian idols in the name of Islam. Some of them that they were destroyed were some of these griffins, because these are all symbols of Babylon and Assyria. All right. So this symbol right here, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? This is Babylon and Assyria, like the Babylonian Assyrian Empire, and they had different regime changes. Just like Nebuchadnezzar came, Nebuchadnezzar came. You understand? Then after Nebuchadnezzar was Darius the Mede, because there was the Medo-Persian Empire. That's the next beast that comes out. Go ahead.
I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon his feet as a man.
Good.
And a man's heart was given to it.
So now, if you're a man who's brave, they say you got the heart of what? A lion. You understand? But if a lion gets a man's heart, what does that tell you about it?
It's weaker now.
It's weaker.
Yeah.
You understand? America is so strong because it has aerial superiority over the other nations. We have a military that has aerial superiority over them. That's God and the angels. That's the chariots of the Most High. So if you have wings, you have superiority over the things that walk on the land. You understand? That's why if they really want to find you, what do? They call in a bird. They call in a helicopter. They get a bird's eye view over you because it's easier to stalk your prey. If your wings are plucked and your heart is changed to a man, you've become weaker. When that empire became weaker, what happened? It gets conquered. Good.
Verse 5. And behold, another beast, a second like to a bear, and it was raised up, and it raised up itself on one side.
So now, this is the Medo-Persian Empire. Their symbol is the bear. Now, who's more famous in history, the Medes or the Persians? The Persians, because that empire raised itself up on one side. So the Persian side became stronger than the Medes. This is why you read about Xerxes. This is why when you watch 300, you see the Persian Empire. The Medes was a part of that empire. But the Persians, it raised itself up on one side. Go ahead.
And it had 3 ribs on the mouth of it, between the teeth of it.
So now, meaning it gobbled up 3 other empires, 3 other areas as it goes. You know what I'm saying? They took over India. They took over the Babylonians. They went on. They expanded their territory. Good.
And they said thus unto it, arise, devour much flesh.
And that's what they did. They conquered. That's why we see that they tried to take over Greece. Good.
Verse 6. After this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl.
So now, this is Alexander. And Alexander comes through. He takes over this. He takes over everything. Only thing Alexander left was Israel. He didn't touch Jerusalem. Good.
The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it.
And dominion was given over him. And then that's when, after he, read on.
Verse 7. After this I saw the night visions, and behold, so like I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly.
Good.
And it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it.
You understand now? This is a diverse empire. Rome was an ethnically diverse empire. You understand? But Rome devoured all of these empires, and it tries to get its power and its might from ancient kingdoms. You understand? That's what the white man's always trying to do. You know what I mean? He literally, like, why do you think he worships Egypt? Why do you think the Masons worship Egypt? They want the power of Egypt. Remember, like, Egypt was so powerful, they were trying to go toe-to-toe with Moses. Imagine an empire so powerful, right, that Moses throws a staff on the floor, it turns into a serpent, and then Pharaoh's like, psh. They throw their staves down and they turn into serpents. Egypt knew how to change the molecular structure of items. The white man wants the power of these other nations. That's why they're doing all sorts of experiments and gene splicing and trying to play God at every turn that they can. That's what they want to do. Rome is the start of that. And America is the continuation of the Roman Empire. So now, let's go back to Revelations, right? Because Revelations is building on the vision that Daniel got. So now let's go back to Revelations. I believe we're in verse 2. Revelations 13 and 2.
This book of Revelations, chapter 13, verse 2. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power.
You understand? Like, and now this dragon, this beast, you understand, that gave him his power? Rome gave him his power. You understand? Because these 7 heads came out of Rome. Because remember, that dragon was a fierce beast that gobbled everything up, that was shattering things like clay with iron teeth. You know what I'm saying? You got to remember too, like, you have the Bronze Age, but after the Bronze Age, you get the Iron Age. And the Iron Age is when they really started to master weaponry. And when they mastered that weaponry, what was Esau blessed with? Esau's blessed with the sword. So Rome now goes and it conquers up all these empires. It conquers Babylon. It conquers every stitch and inch of grass that it could foresee with the sword. Fierce as ever can be. And that's what this empire is comprised of. That's what this beast, what this dragon is comprised of. Go ahead.
And his seat.
Slakia, go ahead. For a short time, yes. You understand? That's the only reason why they're in power right now. Exactly. So this is something that's completely fierce. It's performing all these tasks. And as fierce as this dragon is, the Most High is going to slay this dragon. And his power is going to be shown throughout the earth. Good? No sweat. All right, let's read on.
And his seat and great authority. Verse 3. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death.
So now, when did Rome get wounded?
So like you start thinking was after Nero.
After Nero, right?
Right.
So Rome got wounded around 193 AD. Rome got wounded during the Dark Ages. So there was an overthrow. You had Servius Septimus and Priscinius Niger, right? Give me 1 second. And what happened is these were 2 Roman generals, right, who fought and overthrew the Roman Empire, and then they became the new emperor of Rome. You don't think about Rome like Rome and Italy right now, and Italy as a country. Think about Rome as an empire, but then now think about it as civil war and disruption inside of it, right? So as a result, it's unstable. So by the time, 130 some odd years passes, Constantine moves, the new emperor of Rome, moves it to Byzantium, you understand, and creates the Byzantine Empire. This is modern day Istanbul, you understand? Modern day, this would be Istanbul, Turkey. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you get the Eastern and the Western Roman Empire. All right. So it's wounded during this time period because this beast, this particular beast, the Edomites, they're not in rulership during this time period. Good.
When you speak of the Dark Ages, what does that mean? Is that like when there was no like TVs or like recordings, or what does that mean? The Dark
Well,
Ages?
the TV doesn't come till way later. You understand? Like we're talking about thousands of years ago. White people used the Dark Ages as a time where they believed that there was no real advancements for their civilization. But this is also when dark-skinned people were ruling. Then they believe that it's an Enlightenment period, which is known as the Renaissance, which comes after. Now, that's when the wound is healed, which is what we'll talk about. You understand? But the Byzantine Empire was extremely advanced. You could even see this in movies. You know what I'm saying? Like there's there's a movie called The King, you know what I'm saying, on Netflix, right? And when he's ruling, he gets a gift from Byzantine. And it was like a wind-up robotic doll that moved on its own. You know what I'm saying? Like if the Byzantine Empire didn't fall, we would have flying cars already. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but it was talking about them not having advancements. This is when they were stuck still because they weren't in rulership. Read on.
And the verse 3, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed.
His deadly wound becomes healed during the Renaissance. So in 1453, the Ottoman Turks sacked Constantinople. Once they do, this becomes the beginning of the end of the Dark Ages. We ruled Europe all the way up until about the 18th century. We ruled Rome until the 15th century. We ruled like Britain and London and all that till the 17th century. And we ruled Germany until the 18th century. Literally. That was the beginning of the end of the Dark Ages. Now, around the 1450s, this is when you have the beginning of what's considered the Renaissance or the Enlightenment period. Then you have a family that comes around. They started the bank in around 1390, 1392, somewhere around there. There was a family of merchants. You know what I'm saying? They worked in textile. They were known as the Medici. The Medici started a bank, and they weaseled and scratched and clawed their way to becoming the bank for the Catholic Church. So,
It's like a cert. Didn't Machiavelli write about them?
yes, you understand? So now, the Medici family, think about this. All the tithes throughout all of Europe passed through one bank. The Medici. They became the richest, most wealthiest, and most powerful family in the earth at that time. They literally, like they said, Cosimo Medici, you understand, was king in everything except title. He controlled everything from the shadows. Eventually, they started to send their children to become cardinals, and one of their children became the Pope. And then they ran everything. When you think about the famous painters of the Renaissance, like Leonardo da Vinci, Donatello, Raphael, these aren't Ninja Turtles. These are, you know what I'm saying, literally the painters. You know what I mean? And what happens is they all came out of the Medici School of the Arts. So y'all heard of Basquiat? Right? Basquiat is a famous painter. Andy Warhol is the one who financed him and brought him to become famous. Well, think of the Medici family as like the Andy Warhol of the ancient Roman world, where they would sponsor, like rich families, right, would almost have like kingdoms. So in the same way, you have a butler who lives with you, servants who live in the house, and they have their own quarters, and then they serve. That's what they do. They work by, you know what I'm saying, serving, working with you, right? Well, you would also hire a musician. and the musician lived in your household. And when you wanted to hear music, they would be summoned and they would play, you know what I'm saying, music for your entertainment. Well, they would also hire and commission artists. And that's how you would go, and you would have family portraits all throughout your house and murals all throughout your house. Well, the Medici family had all the greatest painters, and that's why Florence has all the artwork. Florence is one of the most beautiful cities I've ever been to. It was the Medici family who commissioned them to create all this art. Then they would go and commission them for the Pope. And then that's how Michelangelo paints the Sistine Chapel. That's how he paints Caesar Borgia as the family, because it was their family that was commissioning all this, because they had the School of the Arts from Florence. This is the whitewashing era. This is where iconoclasm happens, where the dark images and the white images, the people behind them start beefing, and the white side wants to destroy the black side. And that's why the ones that survived are in Russia, because Russia wasn't conquered. So a lot of these monks and these monasteries took a lot of these images and brought them into Russia. And then that's where they survived. And that's why Putin was able to open up the vault and pull out black images of Moses. Because all of these go back to Byzantium. Because Byzantium was before the Renaissance and the whitewashing. Because that was a black empire. That was during the wound. What we're talking about is when it heals. Read on.
And the world wondered after the beast. Verse 4. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast.
They worship the dragon that gives power onto the beast. Meaning what? They worship Rome. Because how did they start to worship Rome? Rome goes out because when Rome wasn't an empire, Rome became a church. And the Roman Catholic Church started going out and causing everybody to worship them. And you know what they did? They created an image of the beast. That image is Caesar Borgia. And then now everybody goes and they make the sign of the cross. You understand? They wear crucifixes around their neck. They put crucifixes in their house. You understand? And they worship Rome because they're following the Roman Catholic doctrine, the Roman Catholic dogma. Go ahead.
I notice a lot of rappers do that, like Israelite. Well, they're not considered the Gentile Israelites that are famous rappers would put the cross with Jesus on them. Is that like symbolizing just to like just
it's
to
because
mess
they're
with God?
Christian.
Like
it's because they are worshiping the beast because they don't know any better. It's because this empire is the continuation of Rome, so you're still following Rome's God. You understand? And Rome's God is Caesar Borgia. Read on. What's up? It's blasphemy. That's why the first verse says, and blasphemy, you understand, was on his head. Because they get the whole world to blaspheme God. Read on.
And they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?
Good.
Verse 5. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies.
Brother, let me tell you some great things and blasphemies. Jesus is white. Jesus is all colors. It doesn't matter what color Jesus is. Let me give you some more things. God loves everybody. Let me give you some more. God hates the sinner. No, excuse me. God loves the sinner but hates the sin. Let me give you some more blasphemy. Christmas, Easter, pork is the other white meat. The laws of God are done away with. All of this is blasphemy. Go ahead.
And power was given unto him to continue 42 months.
Meaning a short time. It's not a very long time. You understand? This isn't like our kingdom that's going to be forever. Power's given onto him for but a short time. Good.
Verse 6. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven.
You understand? And do not they do this all the time? They paint little white naked angel babies on the church of the Sistine Chapel. The angels are fierce warriors, but the Catholic Church is full of pedophiles. You know what I'm saying? So because there's nothing but PDFs in the Catholic Church, they got to paint naked babies all over the ceilings. You understand? They blaspheme the host of heaven. They blaspheme the Most High. You understand? They change the truth of God into a lie. Go ahead.
Verse 7. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints.
And that's exactly what Rome did. Like Rome has been doing this since 70 AD when they've made war with the saints of the Most High. Go ahead.
And to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations.
Because remember, Job 9:24 says what? The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. You know what I'm saying? Esau takes the saints into captivity. He makes war with us and has been overcoming us for generations. Go ahead.
Verse 8. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life.
Brother, you go to Brazil, there's a 50-foot statue of white Jesus. You go to Africa, they got touchdown Jesus. You understand? Like you go anywhere in the earth, you can find a white Jesus. You can find Mexico. Y'all cut a bathtub in half and then put a Mary in it. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it's how many of y'all got rosary? What's on there? Some white bitch that they're trying to say is Mary and Caesar Borgia at the bottom of it. Read on.
Book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. Verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Good.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Verse 11. And I
so I know you understand that, you know what I mean? But here's what you got to understand. Every single one of these empires, Spain, Portugal, France, all of them that are all a part of the dragon, they all had a hand in our captivity. They all had a hand, you know what I'm saying? The Dutch, everybody in the slave trade. They all took us into captivity and overcame us. They killed us with the sword and they took us into captivity. They must be killed with the sword and taken into captivity. And that is our patience while we endure to the end. That is our patience. You understand? Like if you cannot, there's a little boy, 12-year-old, who was just unalived in Austin. If you could not take it into your hands to go and get vengeance for one of them, one day God will kill all of them. You understand? One day all of them will go into captivity. Good.
Even for the alligator babies.
All of the above.
Like that was an atrocity. Like,
this is why it says, happy shall ye be that taketh thy little ones and dasheth them across the stones. Read on.
Verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
You understand? So now, two horns like a lamb, meaning what? He acts innocent. You understand? A lamb wouldn't hurt anybody, but he talks like a dragon. You understand? And it is lies. But you know what else dragons can do? Dragons could breathe fire. You understand? It's so destructive. But you know what? But it's George Washington. It's a founding forefather. It's the creator of such a brilliant constitution. You understand? It's Donald Trump. It's Biden. You understand? Something that's just right and proper in the earth. Something that's going to make America great again. Read on.
Verse 12. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him.
And what is the first beast before him? Rome. America is the continuation of the Roman Empire, and it speaks like a friend. It speaks soft. It speaks gentle. It acts as if, give us your poor, tired, huddled masses. You understand? But then locks those poor, tired, huddled masses in cages with ICE agents. You get what I'm saying? It acts as if it's a symbol of liberty and justice for all, but then has a prison industrial complex, but then unalives the entire earth, but then sends missiles Christmas Day to Nigeria. You understand? Makes war in the earth. Good.
And it causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast.
You understand? It worships Rome. It worships Rome through democracy. It worships Rome through Christianity. It worships Rome through the Colosseum. It worships Rome through the NFL Colosseums. That's bread and circus. And it just keeps everybody entertained. I went to the Nick parade. You understand me? Bread and circus. Now, mind you, America's got to burn, but the Knicks got to win. You see the problem? I'm part of the problem. Salakia. I told Commander Junior Hanna laughed me to hell when I told them, I'm like, Salakia, I went to the parade in carnality. He cracked up laughing. I had to see it. I had to be there. I'm a New Yorker to the bone. But when you look at the UFC, when you look at boxing, when you look at, those are the modern day gladiators. The modern day gladiators is the Cowboys and the Jets. You understand? And as a result, you forget about all your problems because the Knicks won. Nothing else mattered. You understand? Read on.
Whose deadly wound was healed. Verse 13. And he doth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven.
Brother, they have hellfire missiles. Hiroshima, Nagasaki, the Middle East, like I said, Apache helicopters and hellfire missiles. They drop napalm all throughout Vietnam, melting the Vietnamese. You know what I mean? Men saw this in battle. They shake the earth. You know what I'm saying? These great wonders that they do and they perform. The damn Afghanistanians got to throw shoes and rocks at tanks. You get what I'm saying? Like they don't have the same technology that America got. They said that America was hitting them with a signal that got the damn Iranians in that city and that base to surrender. That was driving them mad. They do wonders through their different technology, man. You get what I'm saying? They perform wonders to the point where it's like they use all of this to conquer the Predator drones, all of the above, the nuclear weapons and arsenal that they have. Because this is a dragon. This is somebody who's blessed with the sword. Listen, Edomite in the middle of the woods will put a gun on a damn drone. That drone is for taking pictures, and he gonna attach a Glock to it. This is who they are. This is what they do. Read on.
He maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Verse 14. He decideth them, he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had the power to do in the sight of the beast.
Man, and he deceives people because now you're forced to believe his lie. Because if you don't believe in democracy, if you don't believe in Christianity, if you don't believe in capitalism, then they'll just send a bomb until you do. You understand? The Japanese were ancient warriors, and now they got Hello Kitty. You get what I'm saying? Like, he's going to make you docile. He's going to make you westernized. You're going to have the Meiji era. You understand, where you become westernized, and now you take off your kimonos and you put on a suit and tie when you do business. This is what he does. Read on.
saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. Verse
You
15.
understand? And they made that image. You understand? And that image is, what do you call it? That image is Caesar Borgia. Good.
Verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
You understand? And that's what happened. Christianity was spread with the sword. And that, you know, what does the image say?
The image?
Yeah.
That they're superior.
Do me a favor. Pull up a picture of Caesar Borgia, if you could. No, on the screen. I want y'all to see something. Well, it definitely says that their God, if okay, God is what? Christians say it all the time. God is good all the time. God is good all the time. You understand? So, okay, you got Caesar Borgia. I need you to pull up Jesus, though. You don't got to pull up Cesare. Yeah. Just pull up white Jesus. You don't even got to type in the white. Just put in Jesus. All right, go to that one right there. And then share that one on the screen. What happened? Bring me back to StreamYard. StreamYard. All right. Make that full screen. Or is that as big as you could get it? All right, that's fine. Listen, this image right here, does that look like a murderer? Does that look, he looks what? That's peaceful. How could that be the devil? How could that be the conqueror? You understand? How could that be evil? You mean to tell me this is the deceiver in the earth? You ever see somebody say they look at a painting and say, this painting speaks to me? So what does this image say? I love you. I love you unconditionally. You could be a homosexual and I'll still love you. You know what else it says? It says, forgive the school shooter. You know what else it says? Forgive your slave master. You know what else it says? How can Donald Trump be evil when him and Jesus are both white? These are the things that this image speaks and says. How could that be the devil? You could take it down. You could come back. I needed y'all to see that image and to see what it speaks to you. It speaks peace. Because remember, It's a lamb, but it's really a dragon. I think we're on 15.
Verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
You understand? And now, when Rome would come through, what would have to happen? You would serve it or you would die. You understand? Y'all ever heard of the Spanish Inquisition? You understand? What did they do to the natives when they got here? What did they do to so-called African Americans? You had to serve white Jesus or they would put you to death. All of this was prophesied in the Bible thousands of years ago. Good?
It's like it, sir. Just like all these missions here in Texas, like the Coahuiltecan tribe, they're the ones who built the missions here in Texas, especially here in San Antonio, right? And that was halting the production of the Alamo Plaza because they started digging up all the bones, and surprisingly, they were right near the mission. Because if they didn't want to build the mission, they would cut them down right there.
You understand?
Yeah.
This is what they do. This is who they are. But the world sees that image that was on the screen. And that's why when you say the white man's the devil, what do you mean? Because how could such a benevolent being, if Jesus is white, Jesus is their God. That's why you have to say the white man is the devil. The white man is the devil is one of the most profound and important statements that we have.
That's right.
Because you have to break the spell. You have to break the illusion. And when you say they're the devil, you know what you're automatically by proxy doing to every Mexican, to every Issacharite, to every nigger, to every Judite? You're putting them above the devil. You understand? You're making us children of God and them devils. You could never stop calling them the devil. You got to say it like it makes your teeth white. Read on.
Verse 16. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
Now, good.
The mark of the beast, where they got they got the marks, but they were using it to buy like food and like it's an old movie.
Yeah, no, okay.
And it changed their spirit when they got it because they were like going after those people who didn't get it. And, like,
Okay.
wanting to hurt them.
What's the difference if you have a chip in your hand or a chip in your card? You understand? What's the difference? You used to have to pay with cash, right? Then you get a card, you got the tap to pay. Now you could pay on your phone. What's the difference if I stop paying with my phone and put my hand to it? Nothing. There is no difference. The mark of the beast being a microchip is ridiculous. You understand? Because what is the difference between the chip being, you're using your hand to put a chip on it, but it's got to be in your hand for it to be the mark? It don't make no sense because this is what you got to realize. Okay. This whole time, we've been talking about what? Nations. We're talking on a national scale. You understand? From the greatest to the least, rich or poor nations. Let me explain what Rome used to do. If Rome was coming to conquer your city, they would bring an army to come around your city. And then you know what they would do? Nothing gets in or out the city. Who can't come to your city if there's an army around it? Merchants, trade, commerce. Because first, let me show you what buying and selling is. Like we need a lesson on. We're such peons. We think buying and selling is going to the store to get a Hershey bar, right? Give me James 4:12.
This book of James, chapter 4, verse 12. There is one lawgiver who is able to save and to destroy. Who art thou that judgest another?
Good.
Verse 13. Go to now, ye that say, today or tomorrow we will go into such a city and continue there a year and buy and sell and get gain.
And what?
And get gain.
And what?
And get gain.
So, like, let me explain something to you. So I'll use a business I started. I bought seeds, right? I bought lamps. I bought, you know what I'm saying, soil, right? Did I buy that just to grow? I'm trying to grow the plants and sell them for what? For gain.
Right.
Buying and selling is to get gain. Buying and selling is commerce. If you go to the grocery store, are you buying and selling? No. All you're doing is consuming. The grocery store bought that meat to sell it to you to get gain. They bought that milk to sell it to you to get gain. But if you can't go to the grocery store because your city is under siege, if there's no more milk coming in, you understand? There's no more resources coming in. That's an embargo.
Right.
Like what America did to Cuba is the stopping of buying and selling. That's why when you go to Cuba, they still got cars from the 50s because America prevented, you understand, commerce from happening over there. That's the power of the beast because America compared to France. I mean, Cuba compared to France. Which one's a bigger nation? France. You understand? Compared to Britain, which one's a bigger nation? Britain. You understand? Cuba's a smaller nation in comparison. But the beast, has the power to do it to large and small because guess what they were able to do to China, which is an even bigger and greater nation? They put tariffs on China. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about commerce. And that's what Rome used to do when they sent their military. Well, that's what they do now with embargoes. This isn't talking about you going to get Skittles. This isn't you talking about you consuming. What do black and Hispanics like where's the black textile mill that trades on the world market? What's the black GDP? You understand? But guess what America did in 2008 and 2009 to Jamaica? Y'all know what Jamaica's number one export used to be?
Rum.
Well, that was in like the 1700s. It was sugar cane. By the time you get to 2008, you know what it was? Bananas. Jamaica was getting ready to default on a loan to the World Bank. So you know what they did? America said, you cannot sell bananas anymore. Because what was Jamaica selling the bananas for? They sold them to get gain. You understand? They bought land, planted banana trees to sell the bananas to get gain. So now America says, we're going to get bananas from here. And that's going to get us money back. And in return, we're not going to call in your debt. So now Jamaica doesn't have to pay or default on the loan. but they also can't make money on their number one export. This is the power of the beast. We're talking about global commerce. We're not talking about you going to Walmart, dummy. We're talking about on a global scale. Now, that's if you don't want to. What did Cuba not want to accept? What was America trying to push on Cuba?
It's like, sir, they were trying to push capitalism.
Democracy. Because Cuba is communist. The mark of the beast goes in your mind. What goes in your mind? The philosophy of the beast. Is Israel a democratic nation? No. Do we vote for Christ? You think you got a choice if Christ is your king? Bring them hither, they that wish that I will not rule over them, and slay them at my feet. You serve a warlord. You serve a dictator. You know what goes in your mind? Christianity. And if you won't serve Christianity, here comes the Roman military. If you won't serve democracy, here comes the embargo. The philosophy of the beast is what goes in your mind. Most people are right-handed. And then guess what you'll go and do? You'll go join the military, and then you'll go kill for it. That's the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is serving the philosophy of the beast that goes inside your mind. You want to know who has the mark of the beast? Sheriff Tatum. Tatum got the mark of the beast. He will go and cover up anybody that is killed by white people. He got the mark of the beast. He serves the beast, even unto death. Don't matter what happened to Nolan. You see what I'm saying? Same thing with the police. You will serve America and you will pull that trigger for America because you serve democracy. You serve Christianity. Read on.
It's like back to Revelation.
Yep.
This is book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse
18.
18. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man.
Number of what?
A man.
No, it's a shape.
A man.
No, it's the shield of David.
A man.
No, but there's 6 points on a shield of David.
A man.
It's the number of a man. Let me break the spell for you. 666 is the number of men that rule the earth. How many men are going to rule in Christ's kingdom?
144,000.
144,000 is the number of men that will rule in Christ's kingdom. 666 is the Rothschilds. 666 is Elon. You understand Elon Musk's father owned an emerald mine? And he comes from one of the richest families during apartheid in Africa. His son is in the PayPal mafia. The PayPal mafia, you understand, Peter Thiel is one of the richest men on the planet who started one of the first investors in Facebook. The 666 are the 666 white men that rule the planet right now. It's the inverse of 144,000. Satan has a ruling class. Christ has a ruling class. It's the number of a man. Go ahead.
And the number is 600, 666.
666. Good.
That's it.
So now, this is Revelations, the 13th chapter. That's the mark of the beast. And that's what 666 is. You want to let him in? All right, we got any questions online? Magawar, I don't understand your question, brother. You got a question? You got your hand up, brother? Oh, shalom. Good to see you. No sweat. No sweat. Nothing else online? I don't give a damn about an Edomite. I'm like, what you think? This is a light to the Gentiles? Listen, let me translate this. What Tony say? He said if he was drowning, I'd throw him a cinder block. It's one of my favorite lines in the whole show. No, Sopranos. I just seen that clip on TikTok earlier. I started cracking up. Any other questions in the room before I move on? All right, y'all know the whole Bible. You know what I mean? All right, let me see. Good.
So basically, what you were just talking about is when it says to not buy and sell on the Sabbath, it's really talking about carrying on business.
Yes.
Okay.
You understand? Buying and selling is getting gain. Buying and selling is commerce. Okay. The average store owner, right? Is like, you know what I mean? Like I know we're so used to the average black business is one nigga in a van. You understand? Is one spick in a van. That's what it is. You know what I mean? The average white business is a real business. You understand? It is, you know, when you go over to Macy's got somebody working the counter, got somebody stocking, got a secret customer walking around, you know what I'm saying? Spying on everybody else, making sure you're not shoplifting, got security in the house. You understand? Like it's, so as a result, Macy's would create what on the Sabbath? Burdens. You understand? It would create servile work. Where's the owner of Macy's? You ever met him? You ever meet him? You ever meet anybody on the board at Macy's? Where the hell are they on the Sabbath?
Probably chilling at their house.
Chilling on a yacht somewhere, doing whatever the hell they want. You understand? Where's your ass?
In the store.
You understand? Running cables for them. So the Sabbath is a law that business owners don't put you to work. Because when I'm buying and selling to get gain, who's coming to do all the work? My servants, the people I hired. You understand? The people who are in desperate need of money. You create burdens with it. So as a result, I have to give you off on the Sabbath. I can't cause you to come in and to work. I can't cause you to come in and serve. That's why even fake Israelites don't understand the Sabbath, because it's like there's a reason why we call our jobs a slavery. Because you know what the Lord told, like not being able to have a Sabbath is a curse from God. Because you know what the Lord told you? When I send you among the heathens, ye shall find no rest. You understand? Because the Sabbath day is a day of rest. Do you serve rest, or does rest serve you? Like, if y'all want to understand what the Sabbath is like for somebody who doesn't own a business, okay. Y'all work of slavery. Then y'all got camp. If you got nothing to do on Sunday after you just worked 6 days, how does that feel? Yeah, you know what you could do? You know what you could do if when you got a real day off, you could sleep in. You know what else you could do? Go fishing. You know what else you could do? Your hobby. You know what else you could do? Whatever you want. That's what the Sabbath is. That's the whole point of the Sabbath. The Sabbath is how you rest. Because if you left it up to the capitalism, you would work every day until you died. There would be no labor laws. There would be nothing to stop them from ever giving you time to rest. That's what it comes down to.
They just asked me, can you start working 7 days? I mean, they didn't just ask me, but they did ask me that.
I would be like, what does God think about that? Even God rested on the 7th day. Do you know that? In all this marvelous creation of us standing on the earth right now, even God said, I'm going to rest from all this creation on the 7th. He did that for your sakes. You know what you got to tell him? My God would forbid me from doing that. You got to tell him. Here's what you tell him. Tell him, I'll get you a letter from my synagogue if it's a problem. Oh, you didn't know? Here's what you do. Here's what you do. You go. You pull this shield out because you mean business, and you say, I'm a Messianic Jew. I'll have my rabbi write you a letter from my synagogue. Oh, no, that's not necessary, brother. Do you want Sunday off too? I want you to say it just like that. And then I'll show up. That's it. I'm Rabbi Captain Chaataza. Please call me Captain. Oh, hell, where are we going? All right, let me see. What's up, sis? Yeah, Khan, that was the last verse. All right, let's see. Hold on. We got 30 minutes left. What could I do in 30 minutes? Got a question?
I got it. Yeah.
Good.
So, being a trooper, I know I can't say too much. I'm not supposed to be teaching, but when I talk to people, how do I get them? What can I say? What am I allowed to say to try to get them through these doors?
Okay. You tell them what you know, what you've been taught, but don't go beyond that. You understand? What you say is, I'm a student myself. I'm taught XYZ. And you say, come to class, which is what you did. And that brother came here one day and then I never seen him again. But you know what I'm saying? Like listen, many are called, few are chosen. You know what I'm saying? Like and that's why I don't even see nobody until they're in all black. Somebody shows up in all black, they're serious. They want to be a part of us. You know what I'm saying? Somebody shows up in pink, salmon. I don't want to diss them. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Breezy. You know what I mean? Not saying you, but I'm saying imagine him wearing a pink breezy shirt, you know? I'm I'm not gonna take you serious. I don't think I'm ever gonna see you again. See, like y'all are young and optimistic, so y'all get starry-eyed when new people walk through the door. You know what I mean? Like me, I care about you. I care about who's here. I care about who's at camp every weekend. That's who I care about. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who just walked through the door. Nah. Are you gonna be here next week? No, all that has to happen is, somebody sneezes and your life is out of order. I don't expect anything. So that's what you want to do. You want to just you want to just lead them to class. Everything is come to class. Class solves everything. All right.
I know where I'm coming.
You invite them to the cookout that we're gonna do at the crib once a month. You know what I'm saying? I'll let y'all know what weekend we do another one. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking best time might be when we have off from camp again around Labor Day. You know what I'm saying? Because the manpower, people going to New York, that might be one of the best times. You know what I mean? We won't be celebrating Labor Day, but everybody will have off. Y'all said what?
She said, I don't know about that one. I had a thing too. I don't know if I get off for Labor Day.
Ain't that something?
We don't get off. I think we don't get off until Christmas and
the weekend of
and Thanksgiving.
You know what I'm saying? We could probably do it the weekend of. Like I said, I want us to all get together more. You know what I'm saying? Like I want all of us to come through. Music, cards, you know what I'm saying? All that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? I damn near want to be able to plant the harvest so that, you know what I'm saying, we could have the greens at the cookout too. You know what I mean? Some home salads. You know what I mean? Like I want us to all be, you know what I mean? Scripture says how great it is for brothers to dwell in unity. Like, and we have to prefer each other. And this can't just be work. You know what I mean? It can't just be labor. You know what I mean? Like this is family. You know what I mean? This is home. Let me see what we got. I don't want to play Christian with y'all yet. What we got? What could I do in about 25 minutes? Lesson wise. I don't know if we go there. I don't want to do that yet. I'll save that for another day. All right, you know what? Here is something that I want y'all to know. All right. I need y'all to grow in this with confidence. All right. I need y'all to understand that whether you're a 50, a 500, a trooper, whatever the case may be, right? You outrank everybody on the earth that is not inside of this school. I don't care who it is. I need y'all to speak the truth with the utmost boldness and confidence at all times. There's gonna be, like, right now, I know you trying to follow protocols and all that. You know what I mean? It's impossible to get a trooper to not teach because you love this truth. You found this truth. You just want to, you know what I'm saying? You just want to tell everybody what it is that you found. This is the greatest thing on earth, ever. Know this now. Follow me right now. Get in the van. I am not kidnapping you. I'm kind of kidnapping you, but we're taking you to a good place. All right. First thing is give me Amos 3 and 7.
This book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 7. Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets.
We are his servants, the prophets, and this is why we know who the 12 tribes of Israel are. Mexicans are Israelites. You don't know because you're not a prophet. You're a dumbass. Now, I don't necessarily want you to have my New York arrogance, but I want you to have the authority to understand that whatever you learn and you repeat from here, whatever is taught to you is the absolute truth, and you better say it like you could pull it, you could pull the Ark of the Covenant out your pocket. You understand? Like I want you to say it like you have the tablets that the 10 commandments were written on in your trunk right now. Like, you want to see them? They're right next to the subwoofer. Like, that's how I need you to speak. Give me Ephesians 4 and 5.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 5. One Lord, one faith, one baptism.
Yo, man, there's one Lord, one faith, one body, one baptism. This is that one place. Put your blinders on. Everything outside of here is a lie. Everything. I don't care if y'all speak Lashwan Kodash. You're not with me. Half of y'all say Shalom anyway. I want to spit. Yeah, I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I got to cleanse my palate after I say that word. You know what I mean? Like these things put fringes on t-shirts. Like nothing outside of here is whole. You understand? They are broken and fragmented. They are the group homes of Israel. You understand me? One faith, one mind, one body, one baptism. This is the body of Christ. Everything else, you are an amputation. You are thing. You understand? Thing is not attached to the body. It is running around doing its own thing. The body is somewhere else. Read on.
Verse 6.
Stop. Matter of fact, stop that. Give me Matthew's 21 and 23.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 21, verse 23. And when he was come into the temple, the chief priests and the elders of the people came unto him as he was teaching, and said, By what authority dost thou, Salakia, by what authority doest thou these things? And who gave thee this authority?
They questioned Christ, my man. We know he's the man. They did not. They looked at Christ like a broke nigga from the hood. Whose authority are you speaking this? He's the goddamn king of Israel. He's the Messiah. This is the Alpha and Omega. You understand? This is the and the Tha. This is the first Adam and the last Adam. And they said, by whose authority do you speak? Read on.
Verse 24. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, I also would ask you one thing, which if you tell me, I and likewise will tell you by what authority I do these things.
Here's what you got to know. You cannot please bitch ass niggas. And that's who is questioning Christ. You understand? Like, you want to understand, like, if you want to understand, when we're at camp, right? Let me ask, I say, what somebody comes up, ask a question. You know what I do? Let me ask you something. Where do you think I got that from? I got that from Christ. Because here's what I know, right? Okay, if I tell you God sent me, what are they going to say? You understand? Do you think it matters what I say to them? A question of that magnitude? Here's the truth. God did send me. If I really want to piss you off, Commander General Johanna sent me. Now, Christ, here's something else y'all got to know. Everybody don't need an answer. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to confound you. Now, let me show you what Christ did, good?
Verse 25. The baptism of John, whence was it? From heaven or of men?
So
And-
now, he's like, all right, you want me to answer that? I got a tough one for y'all. You answer this, I'll answer my authority, right? John's baptism, was it of man or was it of heaven? Sometimes, okay, here's what's happening, right? When I'm at camp, I have an agenda. Guess who else has an agenda? The demon I'm battling. You understand? The demon I'm battling has an agenda. Their agenda is to get me off topic, is to make their speaking my speaking. Or make my speaking their speaking, rather. That's what they want. They want to derail the conversation. So now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get on my agenda. I'm not going to get... It's kind of like when that white woman came up. You know what that white woman wanted me to do? She wanted me to tell her, I hate you, you're the devil, and all that. So when she came up asking those questions, did I just step on her? No. Because I already know what you want to just play the victim so that this way I can look like the animal. You get what I'm saying? I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the system. It's not, what have you done individually? You get what I'm saying? I know you love Black Rod. I know it. That's why you're here right now. You understand? You'd have probably blew one on the way over here. I get it. You understand? But you can't have us. You understand? Like, I'm looking at the agenda. There's always an agenda. You know what their agenda is? Their agenda is always they want to kill Christ. They want to stone him. They want him to say, my authority is of God, so they can go blasphemy. So, you know, oh, you want me to answer that? Let me ask you this. And now what Christ is trying to do is he's trying to win the crowd. Read on.
And they reasoned with themselves, saying, if we shall say from heaven, he will say unto us, why did ye not then believe him? Verse 26. But if we shall say of men, we fear the people.
Then everyone else who's listening is going to turn on y'all. And you understand? And now y'all going to turn on, like, you got to know how to win a crowd. You get what I'm saying? Like, remember that night when that serial killer was out there? And Capt Satx and myself were going, the crowd was like, he does look like a school shooter. You get what I'm saying? Like, you go find a way to, you know what I mean? Good. Read on.
For all hold John as a prophet.
They all hold John as a prophet. Good.
Verse 27. And they answered Yahushai and said, we cannot tell. And he said unto them, neither tell I you by what authority I do these things.
You won't answer my question, I won't answer yours. And you know what? And that couple that came over the other day, they asked question after question after question. The last question was their real agenda. Well, I got an agenda too. Answer my question. You won't answer my question, I'm not answering yours. I gave you a freebie. You understand? Christ was asking questions before that. Now we getting into the grit of it. All right, hold up. I answered your last question. Answer this. Oh, you can't tell me? Can't tell you either. And you know why Christ can do that? Because he has the authority. He's not letting someone else control the narrative. You have to control the narrative. These are tactics that you have to learn. You control the narrative. No, we're not talking about, we're talking about what I want to talk about. Oh, but I don't care what you want. You thought this was your show? Well, let me tell you what you could do. Go get signs. Go get 20 other brothers. You understand? Go find out if this place needs a permit or not. And then come out here and have your own demonstration. That's what you could do. I got an agenda. This is the Black and Hispanic Power Hour. Right. That's what we doing right now. I'm not here to be at your whims. Beat it. You have the authority to answer. You have the authority to not answer, because the authority you actually comes from heaven. You had a question?
So, like, sir, what was their last question? They pulled me off.
I don't even remember. It didn't matter. It didn't matter because I answered 17 questions. And now you won't answer one. Beat it. Scram. No, that's a separate couple. Oh, you weren't here last week at camp, right? Or were you?
Yeah,
I'm talking about the baptism people. Yeah, no, we found out he hated his wife. That's what we found out. We found out he wanted his wife to get the burglar. You understand? And he's gonna hide under the bed. We found out who wore the pants in that house. You understand? These are the things that you got to realize, right? Like what you have to realize in all of this is that you have the authority. You can control the pace. You can control the speed. You can control who you talk to. You can control what you teach. They do not. I don't treat anybody out there like they're an equal, like they know anything. They know nothing. Whatever we say is law. That's how you have to teach this. I'm not about to teach this any other way. Otherwise, I don't have the truth. How can I say I have the truth and I think maybe you got some truth, we got some truth. No, we know everything, you know nothing. Shalom. That's how I live. That's how I was taught. That's how I was raised. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Not. Did Christ turn around and say, yeah, I kind of know this? Did Ezekiel? Did Jeremiah? No. Christ said, I'm the way, the truth, the life. No man gets to the Father except through me. That sounds like we're the only ones with the truth. That's what that sounds like. Ain't no confusion there. Raise your hand, though. What's up? That's it. Like, that's who he showed his word to. Give me Mark 9:38. I want y'all to know this too, because a fake Israelite is going to pull this on you one day.
This is book of Mark, chapter 9, verse 38. And John answered him, saying, Master, we saw one casting out devils in thy name, and he followeth not us, and we forbade him, because he followeth not us.
Okay, here's what I don't want y'all to do. I don't want y'all to go and try to stop fake Israelites from teaching. I don't want to see y'all on posts commenting on fake Israelites. We're the only ones with the truth. I don't want y'all to be in the streets and see a fake Israelite group and stop and battle them. Forbid them not. That's what Christ said. What? Oh, you think they're doing something? Oh, you thought they matter? Is that why you feel like you have to tell them? Forbid them not. You see Captain Zaryak running up on camps, or do you see people running up on Captain Zaryak's camp? Do you see the difference? Forbid them not. Read on.
Verse 39. But Yahushua said, Forbid him not, for there is no man which shall do a miracle in my name that can lightly speak evil of me.
There is no man. Now, okay, who brought up evil? Raise your hand though. Christ brought up evil. Why did Christ bring up evil? It's all right. Sit with it. Think about it. Take a second. You want to give it a shot?
Slucky, sir, if I may.
Well, no. You said you don't got it. He raised his hand. Look at him trying to bogart. Good.
No, so is he saying that they can't have contention with me, like they're not against me if they're not, like they can't be against me if they're speaking about the truth, or like even right?
He didn't say they were speaking the truth. He said evil. He didn't say lightly speak the truth. He said there's no man that can lightly speak evil. You want to try, sis? She raised her hand too. That's why.
Well, they're doing miracles in his name.
No, they're not.
Is that not what it says?
He's saying they're not going to do any miracles.
No. Oh.
He's saying no man can that lightly speaks evil of me. He's saying when you use Christ's name without following him, you're lightly speaking evil of his name. They're not lightly speaking the truth. This isn't Timu truth. This isn't a truth light. You get what I'm saying? They are lightly speaking evil of him. You understand? Like what happens if I put a badge on and drive around pulling people over with lights on the car? I'm impersonating an officer. You understand? Like they are out there impersonating, following Christ and using his name. In the name of Christ, whom Paul preacheth. They're lightly speaking evil of him. And guess what? They're not going to perform a miracle because of that. No man can perform a miracle that lightly speaks. Using Christ's name without following him is speaking evil lightly. They're performing evil. But Christ is telling them they're not doing anything. They're wasting their time. Read on.
Verse 40. For he that is not against us is on our part.
You understand? Meaning, if they're not trying to stop us from doing the work, let them rock. Because guess what's going to happen? You're going to find out that they're getting pegged in their ass by their wife. You're going to find out that they're going to they had a conversation with their rib about her going on Tinder wearing a I Love the White Man shirt, and he wants to sit there and watch while a white man blows his wife's back out. And then guess what happens? Isupk is the home of the truth. Because they're on our part. The second that they say you could grape 12-year-old girls, they're on our part. The second Joy Morgan gets unalived, because you're going to see that the truth is not with them. Go ahead.
Everything that's done in the dark going to be brought to the light.
And guess what's going to happen? You're going to see how bright the light is over here after you see how much darkness they're in. That's what's going to happen. Because they're lightly speaking evil. That's it. Like the truth is a very simple thing. And this is why, when a fake Israelite pulls this, you want to bring up the evil part. And then when they go here and say, yeah, but they're on our part. Okay, now let me show you context. Go to Matthew 12 and 30.
This is book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 30. He that is not with me is against me.
He that is what?
Not with me is against me.
This is why they lightly speak evil. This is why they're not performing miracles. Go ahead.
And he that gathereth not with me scattereth abroad.
Let them scatter. Let them scatter abroad. That's it. They're not about to do nothing. In 3 weeks, they're about to rebrand, the remodel, and in 2 years, you're about to forget that they exist. Good.
It's like that's heavy, sir, because they're from a scattering to another scattering to another scattering. It's just a schism after another.
They scatter abroad.
Right.
And you know what the scripture says? Give me 1 Corinthians 12 and 25.
First Corinthians, what, sir? 12?
12 and 30. No, I'm sorry, 12 and 25.
This is book of First Corinthians, chapter 12, verse 25. That there should be no schism.
No what?
Schism.
No what?
Schism.
Go ahead.
In the body.
There's one body, and there is no schism. And if you started here and you left the truth.
Right.
You scatter abroad. Y'all understand? And this is why you, never leaving, never scattering, better speak with the utmost authority and control the conversation. You understand? And understand that the Lord is with you because he revealeth his secrets unto the prophets. He revealed who Issachar is. He revealed who Ephraim is. He revealed who Judah is. He revealed all of this, you understand, to the prophets at One West Isupk. And there is one body, one faith, one baptism, one Lord, and the hope of our calling. That's what all of this is. And that's it. Y'all get it? Questions? All right. I want y'all to remember, you understand, the things that y'all learning in class right now. I want y'all to take good notes. I want you to not forget what you know, trying to learn something new. You got to know what the Bible is saying, what the Bible is not saying, and what the Bible will never say. The Bible will never say that a heathen is getting the covenant. You understand? White people cannot be saved. They cannot. You understand? It's not happening. God only loves Israel, which means he does not love anyone else. I don't care if they find Cornelius, Ruth. I don't care if they find the lost book of Rufus. Like whatever it is, you understand? If it's not in these books, it's trash. You don't even have to know what it is. It's garbage. You understand? It wasn't taught on us. You know why? Like, okay. For me, Commandant General Yohana said so is enough. Now, I will tell y'all the reasoning behind it, but I that is the ultimate authority. That's it. Commandant General Yohana said so. What is he like, your Pope? Yours too. Facts. He said he's the third from heaven. You're mad that he outranks you. This isn't about who he is to heaven. This is about who he is on earth to you. And he's better than you. He outranks you. And guess what? So do I. Guess who else does? My trooper too. You're not even a trooper. You're not even a young man. You're a never was. That's it. And with that, pass the class over to Priest and Officer Yakal.
This is the ISUPK security announcements. We're the ISUPK, started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Ma'ashra, which means tenth in the Hebrew, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priest, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. Memorial of blowing of the memorial of blowing of trumpets. First day of the 7th month. That's Friday, September 11th. You can find this in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verses 25. You can find this in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verses 24 through 25. Remember to check the bulletin board by the hallway. And if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirt, pant, headband, scarf. That concludes the Isupk security announcements. And with that, men of Israel, Majum, which means stand. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Majum Shabbat. Amajum. Barak. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Brakatah. Yadimata. Sar. Face sisters. Sisters Amajum, which means stand. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Man Shabbat, Amajum, Barak, Yahweh Shamar, Lataba, Shem Yahushai, Yad Yom Matah. Class dismissed.
Most High in Christ. Most High in Christ.